All right. Welcome to Fireside Chat number 188. So, let's see. I'll start with just some announcements. So, a couple since last week. Number one, congrats to Seacart, who is our Warrior of the Month for this month, who has been doing an amazing job recruiting as well. We also have a new Roblox channel, and you can get the player's role for that as well in Get Roles. As well, in the Get Roles channel, there's now a region or time zone selection option. Again, like with the player's roles, you're free to add or remove it whenever you want. You don't have to do it, but it can help for just getting a sense of coordinating events and stuff with various different time zones that we have. Um, so yeah, thanks to Sephora and Seagart for the suggestion on that. Let's see. Without spoiling anything, I will say we may have some potential house leadership changes for some houses. There's some discussions going on behind the scenes, but I thought I would kind of prepare people for that, which should be. I'm not sure the timeline on it, but probably relatively soon. I would say within some weeks or in that area. Um, Aside from that, I know we've been talking a lot about the implementation of a platoon system. I'd really like to do that. So I think what I'll do is I will just open my door to anybody that is interested in leading a platoon. So if you have not been keeping up with the previous firesides or discussions, my summaries and event archives, basically the plan is to have somebody in charge of WA's activities on individual games. Now, not every single game we play is going to have somebody in charge of it, but the idea is that some of the more active games or games that people want to make more active, we will have somebody in charge who then will kind of be the authority on that game who organizes things. Now, the main responsibility they will have is posting a situation report by the first of each month, which just describes what happened the previous month. Did you host any events? Who all was active in the game? Who was playing it? Did you have any new recruits? And do you have any goals or updates on stuff you've been trying to do? Anything else you've been working on for the platoon? I mean, did you create some traditions or little games or something that you guys do specifically in that platoon? And as well, if you'd like to recommend any promotions or demotions. Um, and so basically, anybody can run one. In which case, it would be a rough platoon. If you want to be a platoon, normally the requirement that I think we're going to roll with is that you have to host an event, and it has to be attended by four people in addition to you, 4 times. So it's the 4-4 rule basically. And if you do that, then you can be upgraded to a full platoon. And then the max rank for somebody leading a regular rough platoon is Master Chief Petty Officer, MCPO. The max rank for somebody leading a platoon is Lieutenant. So it opens up a lot of the higher ranks. It lets you reach becoming an officer. Now, running a platoon isn't the only way to become an officer. If you are in a platoon, you can then be promoted, of course. Platoons may have multiple different people staffing them and doing different stuff. Maybe one person does the events, etc. But whoever is in charge of the platoon will be tasked with assigning those duties to people in the platoon. So that's kind of the gist of it. So if you would be interested in running a platoon or a platoon, then please talk to me. And we'll be looking to kind of roll that system out pretty soon here and hopefully have quite a few different platoons. And then we'll sort of be assigning people and figuring out where everybody wants to go. For example, we have a commander and 2 captains and an admiral. So the idea is that the platoons and rough platoons will be slotted into divisions, which will be run by captains, and then that the admiral and fleet admiral will oversee all of the divisions. So in that way, we're really going back to those of you that remember kind of the old Third Fleet era and kind of Second Empire era organization. The difference being that we're not going to keep rosters of platoons, so you aren't necessarily going to be in a platoon. We may make it such that there's a role for the platoon, and you can get that if you want it. But because people play so many different games and move around, rather than forcing people to be in a specific platoon and try to transfer to a different one or something like that, we're just going to have that kind of skeleton, the officer staff, running individual games, running those platoons, and writing the reports. And then the players can just kind of do whatever they want and just play whatever they want. They don't have to worry about anything. They don't have to worry about which platoon they're in. That's kind of the plan right now. Of course, if you have ideas on any of that, I'm all ears, but that's the plan at the moment. So again, if you would like to run a platoon or just interested in learning more about it, then contact me. I think that'll about do it, though, so I'll sign off. I'll be hanging out in Certain Hollow for office hours for the next 53-ish minutes.